Alright, so game number 3 is on. It's again me, the Vivo, a caster, or trying to become a caster, whatever. I'm trying. We're on day 1 still, week 2, game 3 as mentioned, Misfits versus the Rogues, or versus Rogue. This will be a pretty interesting game so far because Misfits are on a 3-0 record right now. And Rogue are 2-1. And here comes the instant Kalista ban targeting Hansi, the Hansama, Ezreal ban from the side of Rogue. Thresh ban, interestingly enough, Thresh has been a constant ban so far through all of the games. A Kali ban, who would have thought about that? Huh, I wonder. A Rumble ban, interesting. And now, what will the last ban be? A quote-unquote meta ban, I think. The Lee Sin is banned out, so no funny insect plays, jumping around, or kicks whatsoever. But what will be first pick? Here comes a decent meta pick. It is the Gwen. Gwen is a very strong champion. Level 1, can easily clap any champion that is in existence. So, pretty interested how this game will develop around the top lane. Will we see a Viego or something else today in this game? It's up for debate, but here comes the Lucian lock-in and the Fiddlesticks lock-in. Very interesting. I'm stoked about that. Fiddlesticks, a pretty dope champion. Strong AP jungler. It is, though, a very situational pick, I think. It could also be like a top lane Fiddlesticks, if that is still something you can do. And will it be the Xin Zhao lock-in or Xin Zhao lock-in, however you want to pronounce it? It will be. So there's a champion that is probably going into the jungle. And what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be for the Vitheo? Will there be a mid lane pick already? The Syndra is hovered. Will it be picked though is the question. All of this shows that they want to keep their picks, by the looks of it, for bot lane. Or maybe they will target ban bot lane even more with the next 2 bans. But the Syndra is definitely locked in. So, what is up next on the table for Rogue? And yes, I know I say so a very lot, and I have to work on that, but thanks anyway. Larson, what do we want for this team comp? A Nocturne pick, a very strong meta pick. It could be a top lane Nocturne, it could be a mid lane Nocturne, or if they wanted to, go into a jungle. But by the looks of it, it will still be jungle Fiddlesticks or a top lane or mid lane Nocturne. So if this Lucian is in any lane, it's not for certain as of now. And here comes the first ban, or the 4th ban for Rogue, and it is a Senna ban. Interesting to see Senna banned yet again, because Misfits has not shown anything for their bot side as of now. So pretty interested in how this will turn out. Another ban targeted towards the bot lane with the Varus ban. I think Varus is also pretty strong on this patch, but I might be tripping. So not giving Hans the strongest champions is something you can obviously do, because he then has to pick something that is weaker, but if it actually matters, stands up for debate. The next ban that is up for Rogue will be the Kog'Maw, so also no time to feast. Misfits on their last ban, also with a Braum. So very bottom lane heavy banning habits, as we can see through all of the 3 games so far. And it will be the Kai'Sa pick for Hans Sama. Could there also be something different? Because Misfits hasn't really shown anything else. But he picks the Draven, the signature pick for Hans Sama himself. Now let's see how this gets answered by Misfits. What will be the response for the Draven pick? Kobe, don't leave us hanging here. Pick something. Kai'Sa will be the pick here for the side of Misfits. I don't really know if Kai'Sa is that strong into Draven. I think not. But Kai'Sa is kind of the meta pick right now anyway, if there's nothing else to pick from, because Ashe trades even worse into Draven, I believe. So Caitlyn could maybe been an option, but that is something to debate with. Alistar pick for the support. Vander on the big purple bull, showing his horns. Now, what will Trimby answer with? Will it be the Nautilus pick? Could definitely be an option. Or will it be something else like a Soraka or a Morgana? We see the Morgana pick for Trimby, so a very, very... this will be kind of interesting. So Misfits with a very hard engagey team comp. With the Shinzao WE as well, you can jump in instantly. There is a stun potential from the Syndra. There is knock-up potential from, obviously, the big purple bull. And there is Larson on the Lucian. So Odoamne on top lane with Nocturne, inspired in the jungle with the Fiddlesticks. One of the first Fiddlesticks picks we have seen in quite a while. I don't think we have seen Fiddlesticks in Spring Split, but I might be wrong on that one. But Fiddlesticks has definitely not been played in the Summer Split so far. Now, where this will all end up with this kind of team comp is going to be up for whoever plays his comp best. Well, obviously, no shit, Sherlock. But I think that Trimby can be of a huge impact here if he finds some good bindings, if he lands his spell shield correctly, because they will obviously try to pick out one of the carries of Larson or Hansama with a Syndra stun, with an Alistar engage, with a Shinzao engage. But here it also has the potential to get huge impact in this game, I feel like. There's a bunch of targets to pick off. But we'll see. Here are the players again on the screen. And now we are heading into the Rift for Misfits versus Rogue. No real fancy stuff going on as of now. Each team, as before, protecting their own side of the jungle. Not much going on there, so there will probably no invade on any side. And just a classic standoff, but we'll see how this game develops. I wonder if they will try to play all the other this game like they tried to play some other games where they funneled a ton of resources into Hansama, or if they will focus more around Larson, because both of these players and both of these champions have a huge carry potential, also huge damage output, as kind of obvious. On the side of Misfits, I'm not really sure which side they will try to play around, because Gwen can be very oppressive. I don't think that Kobe can match into Hansama that well with the champion he picked. But here's the Fiddlesticks clear. Obviously, multi-camp clearing is the name of the game. Yeah, so we see some Fiddlesticks jungling here. We have Shinzao also starting off on the red side, and Draven or Hansama already has the push on the lane, and they probably try to get some early trades, because Draven's early damage is quite high, and as you can see, Kobe just gets out-traded very hard. And Vithio already trading with Larson left, right, and center. Also a bunch of damage applied to Larson. But Larson also can trade back quite efficiently. So this will be probably miss your skill shot or you die lane kind of for Vithio here. At least I feel like it will be. But what I feel like is not up for debate. It always depends on what the players do and how the state of the game develops. So here's some stats of Rogue's solo lanes for Odoamne and for Larson. Pretty efficient laners. Odo Omni now taking a little bit of the short end of the trades with Herod, because as mentioned, Gwen is a very strong early game champion, as you can see in the damage right here. Herod trading very efficiently into Odo Omni. Odo has to fall back under his tower. Also playing with Teleport Ignite, kind of interestingly. So is Herod with Teleport Ignite. So those two lanes have the same kit, or the same summoners, obviously. Down in bot lane, the damage will be to the tower. Let's see if they get a plate. And the damage of Draven should be enough to actually get a plate, but they will fall back to try to trade under tower. And perfect spell sheet by Trimby. Vander completely not being able to get his combo off, so no damage done to Hans Sama yet. Vander on the receiving end of the trade here. And probably a plate. I can't really see the number on the turret right now, but it most likely will be a plate towards the bot side of Rogue. So in a minute's time, the dragon will spawn. Here comes the recall for Rogue side. They most likely, for Rogue's bot lane, they will most likely try to get another push in. So no plate for Rogue's bot lane actually. But it will be short before falling off the tower if they deal a little bit of damage to it. They will most likely try to get another push because the Drake will spawn. And Fiddlesticks is about to recall, so he will clear his last camp here. And then he most likely will reset and walk towards Dragon. Will be an Ocean Dragon. So we will not have an Ocean Soul in this game, obviously. Which is not the end of the world. Let's talk some CS numbers here. Every lane is pretty much even, except for bot lane. Hans is a little bit ahead. And the trades, the minions are, or CS is kind of even, as mentioned in any lane, which is displayed also in the gold difference. And Spot looking for a topside gank here. Herod not seeing him, and here comes the fear. Herod will die. First blood for the Fiddlesticks. The scary Scarecrow. And here comes Razork. Will he get the jump onto Larson? He has to flash, actually. I don't know why he couldn't E there, but Larson has to flash as well. But Larson will die. The damage of the Xin Zhao actually too much to handle. And this is not that great if we're talking dragon here, because Razork is alive. He will just walk down there towards the dragon if he wants to. Mid lane has Prio, so mid lane could shift as well. And that would not be that great. But Phil6 is alive, and he's coming back. So he's probably going into a jungle clear for the crab and then the dragon. Hansama actually alone here. Trimby in the tri-brush to try and pick off, get some chip damage off here. Maybe get a pick onto one of the bot lane champions like Kai'Sa or Alistair. And yeah, pretty much skirmishing in the top lane happening again. Gwen is level 6 now, which means bad news bears for the Nocturne if he ever gets caught into a skirmish with the big lady with a scissor on her shoulder or in her hands. Inspired, playing with fire close to the edge, ulting actually into the Xin Zhao, and here's the binding, and that's death for Razork. So Razork getting caught out of position here. The vision was there, the prio or the push on the bot lane was there as well. Hansama now with Trimby snacking in on some gold for the plate money of the tower, and Fiddlesticks, in all of his patience, will suck the life out of this big bad boy dragon. And also Larson coming in to help maybe, or at least zone off Razork if he decides to come back into the dragon pit and get some plays going. That I can speak. That's dragon, as mentioned, Ocean for the side of Rogue. The next one will be the Cloud Drake. So it will be either an Infernal Soul or a Mountain Soul, which, if it is a Mountain Soul, if it goes into any team's way, it will be of huge significance because both teams don't really have that much of a tank. The side of Misfits is more tanky than Rogue side. And set up for a gank here for Razork. The Gwen in the top lane trading with the Nocturne, Odo Omni on the receiving end of this trade. Again, he's not really able to trade back with the Gwen. Gwen is very balanced, guys. Very balanced champion. Razork on the counter jungle versus Inspired. Actually going for some big trades here. Inspired not really able to match here, but he gets out to safety. Razork getting the topside Crux for it. and maybe looking up for a dive onto Odoamne, but Odoamne very fast on clearing all these minions out because he has the Nocturne passive, right? And here goes the engage, making everything dark. The Nocturne tries to deal some damage, but Razork will survive, Gwen will survive, and everyone survives, which is good for the side of Misfits. Getting ahead this top side even more, but here comes a Draven ult. Will he snag someone off? Oh boy, not really. Herod just a little bit out too far. Razork with too much sustain on to the jungle, getting way more health back than the damage of Hans Sama would do. But Hans Sama actually very far ahead on the CS department, and here goes a trade. Alistar actually getting the knock up in, so Hans on the receiving end of this trade, but he already got 2 plates, so he's very far ahead of the Kai'Sa in the lane here. Razork setting up for the Herald. I wonder where it's gonna get placed. I would assume in the mid lane because there's already a plate taken off by Vithio. So Vithio ahead of mid lane actually. Odoamne again met with some scissor hands and Herod dealing tons of damage. Here comes the ultimate of the Fiddlesticks, but it was very well prepared, I guess. Did he have vision though? I think he did not have vision, but it doesn't matter in the end. Vithio lives. Probably gonna receive the blue buff here from Razork. Bot lane now of Misfits has reached level 6, so we will see if there will be a player around any ultimates. But I guess not, because trading into Draven is not something you would like if he is protected by Morgana and Alistar cannot land a combo. So Odoamne pretty much just on the top lane to be there and farm, because he will never be able to match Herod in any way, shape, or form, I believe. Larsen snacking in some gold from the turret, from the plating, which is very good, because gold equals items, and items equals damage, and damage equals winning fights. Or at least that's how math goes, I believe. So what's going on inside the mid lane here? Trimby trying to set up for a gank here, or for a play around mid lane, trying to bait in Vithio, but Vander is here to answer, moving around very, very well with the awareness of an elephant, feeling that something might be coming towards the mid lane. But Trimby just leaving again, so is Vander. Will Trimby pick someone off here? Well, Trimby has some vision on Razork, so Razork has been spotted, which makes Hans Sama able to just stay there and just farm and not push very hard. That's just something you need to know. And here's a stacked wave, so Hans Sama might look for a crash here, because the next wave is almost about to come in. It is on the tier 2 right now, but it will be matched, and Hans cannot really walk up because there's knowledge of Razork around. And Razork is in bot lane, but he has been spotted by the sweeper, and Razork will take a ton of damage, but it will not matter in the end because he will not die from it. Very good awareness by Trimby and by Hans to actually play around with the sweeper there. That's where you can see the experience of this bot lane. Rogue very, very aware of what the possibilities are in a lane and what is not. So no one dies and just some chip damage done. But Alistar recalled, and here will be more plate money towards the Draven or towards Hans. Almost. The plate's almost dead. So there will be more money towards the side of Rogue. Herald has not been placed, I believe, yet. So we'll see if there is anything arising from that side. I can't really tell if it's still there. Well, here we have some gold differences, and the plate money goes over. No, Razork still has the Herald, but it would, I guess, soon be about to expire. Here comes a bigger trade. Vander trying to all-in Hans Sama, but Hans Sama just black shielded from Morgana, and that's pretty much GG for the lane. Kobe cannot try to initiate and trade back, because every damage on Hans is just cancelled and no CC is available. The ulti going wide, so he did not get the Alistar. Did he recall it too early, the ultimate, I believe? I'm not sure, because he just thought he was in his bush and just called it back. Inspired on the second dragon, now it will be a Cloud Dragon, so as mentioned before, it will be either Infernal or a Cloud Soul. What is going on in top lane? Not really much. Odoamne is just on the receiving end of a endlessly pushing Gwen, which always outtrades him. And here's the Herald Summit in the mid lane. So he will crash into this tower, and Larsen has to go back because Razork and Vithio are covering it. He will just take down the Herald, couple of plate money split between Razork and the Syndra or Vithio. Hans Sama taking first turret and 5 plates before the 40-minute mark, which is a ton of money, and he is about 30 CS ahead. Actually, more than 30 CS. This Draven is fed to the brim. Hopefully, he's not gonna get obese from that, but here is some covering from Oduame to get the red buff, not stolen from Razork. So Inspired can just farm up, farm up, farm up. Inspired, by the way, 2 kills ahead, or 1 kill ahead of Razork now, and also 20 CS ahead, or about 30 CS ahead, which is very good. Fiddlesticks really paying off of this multi-camp clearing and clearing fast and getting experience that way. So he can use more time on the map, not clearing camps, and can show more presence on lanes, which we have seen from 1 gank in top lane and 1 gank in mid lane so far. Hans now in the top lane, shifting over to receive even more plate money, probably, and Odoamne on the bot lane. But will there be a swap from Gwen to the bot lane again to match the Nocturne, or will it just be Hans and Trimby in top lane pushing ever so often for even more resources for the carry? We will see about that, folks, in a couple of seconds. So Hans pushing hard in here, so he can crash the wave under tower and get some more platings. But they actually, they leave. Okay, well, plate money is no longer of relevancy. I'm stupid because it's past minute 14, so he can't get any more plates physically, even if he wanted to. Topside heavily avoided so that they do not get ganked, or at least have vision before they get ganked. 3-minute mid lane. Larson pushing for the tower, and there's no vision on the top side, but the Fiddlesticks ward sees it, so there is vision. Perfect flash from Larson to not get knock-up comboed by Alistar with the Hyper Pulverize. And here comes the rotation for whatever Trimby is around, and here comes the Initiate with the ultimate from Inspired, and Nocturne TPs, ultimate, and Razork is just DED dead. Ultimate from Draven to zone off Kai'Sa even more, and the Herald will be for Rogue. Not really able to contest from the side of Misfits. Misfits, 3k gold behind at this point, so Rogue really applying the pressure in this early game here, which hopefully turns into a mid-game or late-game lead. Well, we're actually kind of at the mid-game point right now. Hans Sama takes another turret, and now here it takes the bot side turret for it. The bot side is now even on trades. Here we see the Initiate one more time so I can properly talk over it. Hopefully, Morgana hiding in the bush, abusing the vision. She double TP actually. Larson and Nocturne TPing in, making everything dark so nobody can see what is actually going on. And they collapse onto Razork. Razork is just dead. Many resources burned for Razork though. Now we can see how Rogue play around the top side pressure. They really are playing inside of Misfits jungle. Here Razork initiates onto Hansama. Will Hansama die? No, Hansama is just safe with heal on the magic shield or a black shield. And here comes Razork again going in ham. Larson with a zoning ultimate. Will Trimby die? Here comes Hirit. Hirit will get Hansama presumably. Yes, the ultimate snip snip. Down is Hansama. And Hirit, or Trimby, not Hirit, Trimby dies as well to Razork. So Rogue just overstepping their boundaries a little bit, and Larson is just dead under tower because there's 4 people here. And yeah. Disaster, as some people might say. Odoamne pushing some damage on the middle tower again, or a little bit. So here we see the fight, obviously, again. There's vision on Hans, that Hans is invading or trying to steal the Gromp. Razork is pushing in, using his sweeper, so he cannot be seen. He jumps onto Hans. Hans uses heal, the black shield of Morgana, saves him for a little while. He still has flash ready. So here comes Razork again, jumping in. Vithio's rotating in from the bot lane. He's stunning... Yeah, he tried to stun Trimby, but Trimby stopwatched it, and here it then just flat out kills Hans. And Trimby is in the stopwatch, so he cannot move. He has no flash. He is dead. Drake just spawned, so the Infernal Dragon will it be, and the Infernal Soul will it be. Or it will be the Infernal Soul, to use proper English. Nocturne ults. Here comes a Fiddlesticks. Okay, good combo there. Fiddlesticks absolutely dealing a ton of damage. Sadly not killing off Hirit, but the Ignite from Odoamne, I believe, finishing off Hirit here. Yeah, it had to be Ignite. Yes, Odo got the kill. It was Ignite. It's on cooldown as well. So that is a good play. They lose a dragon for it. Not the end of the world. They still have one dragon up. In 5 minutes or 4 minutes 30 is the next one. Even more damage onto towers. Hansama and Trimby and Inspired going for the plays here. Inspired, by the way, 6 stacks on the Dark Seal. And here we see how they use the combo. Here comes the Nocturne ult. No one can see Fiddlesticks. And here he comes with the Flash ult combo. Everybody's feared. Everybody's is in panic of the big scary Scarecrow. And here, the 1 chip damage. If Larsen doesn't hit this ultimate 1 chip damage, I think Hirit will not die. But alas, he dies with the help of the Ignite of Odo. And as mentioned, the 1 bullet from the Larsen ultimate managed to chip Hirit into his soon death. So 5-5, but Rogue still 3k gold ahead. So they're managing their resources very well, as we can see in the farm department of Fiddlesticks and of Hansama, obviously, who has gone for the Prowler's Claw. Mighty interesting pick, I might say. Not for any other mythic item, but the Prowler's Claw it shall be. I believe of the either mobility aspect, because you can jump to a champion or a minion and close a gap, or of the armor piercing aspect. I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, on Varus you pick a Prowler's Claw as well. And Misfits is now playing heavily around the bot side, invading. And the Dark Binding will not land. Will Odoamne jump in? He will indeed. Here comes a Draven ultimate as well. Fiddlesticks is around. Will he ult in again? He has the ultimate and he jumps in. Vander is dead. And so is Vitheo. And the rest of Misfits try to make the best out of the worst. Larsen will die to Hirit. And here comes the snip lady, Odoamne on her, Fiddlesticks healing himself, Razork will die to Hansama, and Hirit almost killing Inspired. Holy smokes, the damage of this champion is not okay. But Hirit is now out of position, and here he will probably find his last stand, but Gwen is not to be trifled with. Odoamne, please don't die, Odo. Okay, but here comes Hansama with the 2 swirling blades. Will he get the kill onto Hirit? Fiddlesticks helping out. Inspired gets the kill though with the life sucking. He, by the way, has a Mage Eyes with 20 stacks, so the damage of Fiddlesticks is absolutely through the roof. And even beyond, it is in space now. So a good initiate with the Nocturne ultimate. Here comes Larsen with his ultimate, Draven ultimate, Fiddlesticks over the Dragon Wall. We see it again, tons of damage. Look at that damage, it's insane how much damage this Fiddlesticks does. And Trimby rooting Razork. No, he didn't root Razork in place, but Hirit actually dealing tons of damage here to Inspired. If you look at this damage, Inspired is healing, by the way, not anymore, and here comes the damage of Hirit. This is insane. But yeah, this is Gwen for you, folks. This is a champion that has been released, and it is definitely okay. We're seeing Larsen also picking up the Wit's End. So realizing that there is a ton of magic damage from the Syndra and the Gwen, he picks up the last... what did I say? Wit's End. Yes, Wit's End is picked up. And not even having his Mythic finished. But what Mythic he will go for, I guess it will be either a Gale Force or a Shield Bow. We'll see where we end up with that. And the Fiddlesticks with the 20 Mage Eyes will be an absolute bane. So if not anyone, if no one kills his Fiddlesticks at any point in time, he will just get even more scary than he already is. And we see Misfit setting up for the mid lane tower. In 40 seconds time, the dragon will spawn, so there will also be incentive to create vision. And here comes Nocturne again, jumping in onto the AD carry, and he stopwatches just in time to not die. Here comes Fiddlesticks, Inspired. Does he have ultimate? No, he doesn't. He's Zoniast, and here comes Hirit. Will Hirit kill the Inspired? And Inspired dies. That's a ton of Mage stacks lost. Oh, that is sad. And Trimby, Hansama, and Larsen running away from the big scary lady with a big scissor in her hands, or on her shoulder. And this will be the second dragon over to the Misfits. But are they really trying to get the Baron for it? There's a ward here, so they can't really do it. So they're just clearing the vision and running off. maybe catching the top wave and then backing off. So the trades overall have been worse for Rogue in that skirmish because Gwen is a scary champion. You have to realize she has a ton of damage even though she doesn't have that many items. A good ultimate by Larson, missing about half of it. Here comes the Fiddlestick's ultimate, but not really hitting anyone that well. He's in the bush now, but there's a vision, so he can't really scare anyone. And he jumps in a little bit too aggressively there with the flash, I believe. In the back line, Nocturne dies. Trimby cannot really come in to help out Larson on the back foot, and that's where the front, quote-unquote, front line of Misfits shines, because here it just deals a ton of damage, and he just can ignore anything just by pressing one button. And the W button is a scary button on this champion, because you just can't do anything unless you're in the circle or inside the shield itself. So Gwen might turn out to be one of the scarier picks here in the comp of the Misfits. Picking up some more farm here. Looking at the gold so far, Rogue, funnily enough, still 2k gold ahead. So they definitely know how to play their macro. And I realize that I'm saying so way too often again, so I have to stop that. Saying it again. Unsama and Trimby looking to get some vision cleared from the side of Misfits in the top side. Or in the river in front of Baron. Because Baron is an important objective, and it is the only objective at the map so far. And it will probably be of huge interest since there is nothing in the jungle so far to be picked up unless a blue buff is of interest for Fiddlesticks, and it probably is. Because Fiddlesticks uses mana, and Fiddlesticks loves the blue buff therefore. So Odo Omni camping out in his top side bush. Misfits establishing their vision around the Baron, just to be safe and protected. Gwen on the bot side pushing out everything, has the TP available, so she is safe and sound in this bot lane. But rotating into mid right now, the top side is getting pushed out for Vithia. You can definitely see where the focus of Misfits is right now. They really want this Baron. And Alistair moving around to clear some vision even more. To clear even more vision, that's a correct term. And Trimby playing with fire here. Alone in this jungle. No one really around except Fiddlesticks and Hans Sama. But pretty far apart. So if Trimby was to be picked off here, he's probably dead. So now Odo Omni on the bot lane. Doing the same as Herod before. Pushing out the lanes. We see also Hans and Inspired and Trimby in the top lane. To see if they can bait and initiate onto Hans here. So to say, bait a play and catch Misfits off guard. Inspired still camping the bush here. Will Vithio overstep is the question. He plays it safe and does not overcommit into the lane. Really respecting that there could be someone around because you have no vision up there. Only below Baron and behind Baron. So they can really look and see if, or he can think about where they would be or could be, and then he takes his decision from there on out. Hans and Trimby invading the topside jungle of Misfits again, and thus the game actually kind of stabilizes or normalizes. Nothing too much going on. Minions wave get pushed back and forth. Jungle camps get taken. And Baron is still on the menu here, but no, everyone really respecting the damage output of each other's side. There's a TP though from the Gwen. Will the Gwen pick off Hans? Hans is alone here, and this spells bad news bears. Here's a big angry bull, and here it gets the Hans. So this is Baron for Misfits. Really well played there. They used the information, they used the TP, they commit onto Hans. Hans is out of position. And Hans is DED dead. So now there's nothing really to do for Rogue then except push all lanes as far as they can so that the Baron doesn't have that much usage or that they don't get too many towers for it. And picking up as many camps as they can. The problem is that Dragon is 20 seconds around the corner, so this will turn into the next Dragon presumably as well, because Misfits can push the lanes faster with the Baron buff, obviously, and then you can just contest Dragon. this is where the fun begins. So this fight may or may not be quote-unquote a game decider, because there is, there is actually no soul point yet, but Fiddlesticks is on the flank, and Fiddlesticks is not spotted, and this is scary, because if this bad boy teleports or channels into the pit, this spells disaster, but he can't because he was pushed away by Alistair, and now here comes the knock-up ult combo from Fiddlesticks, maybe? We'll see. No combo follow-up. Okay, so the dragon just goes flat out over to Misfits, playing it safe, staying out of the pit as much as they can, rotating down into the bot side and not die. So a very controlled game, also by the Misfits, really putting up a performance here against the spring finalists Rogue here. Pretty impressive, I have to say. So when is the next Baron gonna be? This will be a question that begs to answer, because I cannot see it because of the Red Bull logo. Not sponsored, by the way. Never mind, I'm stupid. Baron is still up. Misfits still have Baron. The push for the tier 2 tower onto Rogue side. Here's also Hirit trying to meddle with Odoamne. Odoamne probably will never win this trade because Hirit just takes it off. But in the mid lane, Misfits overstepping, and this spells disaster for Alistair and Vitheo, because Inspired, Hans, and Trimby, they have pretty ridiculous damage, and this results into a tower from the top side for Larson, and a mid lane tower probably also for Rogue. So very well played with good patience there. And Misfits a little bit too overeager with their Baron buff, as it looked like. I wasn't paying too much attention because I looked at the bot lane play for Odo and Hirit, because there was maybe something approaching, so I missed a mid lane play, but we'll probably see that soon. And if we take a quick look at the CS numbers, Rogue is still 3k gold ahead. It's insane. They pulled off a good play in mid, and they immediately managed to get their lead back. Because Larson has no kills. He, funnily enough, still has a 300 gold shutdown. He's ahead in farm of Vitheo. Fiddlesticks is ahead of Razork by a huge margin. Gwen is ahead of Nocturne, though. And Hans is, with his farm, at the same level as he was like 12 minutes ago. So he kept his lead in CS. So Kobe was never really able to catch up here. Or never really able, but it just looks like the same as 12, 15 minutes ago. Odoamne now having Guardian Angel, so that could be a difference maker in the next couple of fights. Gwen, though, pretty scary with 3 items now. And also a needlessly large rod, so her damage is not to be trifled with as well. The Fiddlesticks almost back to his 20 stacks on the Magi's. But he has an Oblivion Orb as well for the Gwen, for the Shinzao, and for no one else so far, because Kai'Sa has no active lifesteal except for the Dorans, but has the Quicksilver Sash. So she can just cancel the Q of Trimby or any CC she finds herself in, or say Roots preferably. I don't really think you can cancel the Fear of Fiddlesticks. I'm not sure about that. Odoamne again meeting Hirit in lane, and we're approaching the point of late game here. We're on the 30-minute mark. We see some champions, for example, Hirit on level 18, Larson shortly before level 18. He's level 17 right now. And it's just waiting in the patience game. Larson on the side lane again, uncontested. For some reason, he just pushes, and Misfits finds no answer for it. They just try to brute force the mid lane, and it just doesn't seem to work, and Larson is just allowed to get free real estate in the top lane and just push and push and push and get resources fed into him. He also has a Cyril's Scrutch right now, which is huge, because there's armor on Gwen, on Shinzao, also the Zonias on Syndra, and Alistair obviously trying to build into a quote-unquote tankier-ish build. Also, when he presses his ultimate, he gets some decent stats. Inspired with an insane flank setup right here. There is no vision from Misfits in the top side, but they try to set up for the dragon, and so Inspired's positioning isn't really of that much value. But they probably will try to combo the Nocturne ultimate with the Fiddlesticks ult again, so he stays permanently out of vision, so they don't know where he is, and leave him in the dark, quite literally. So Fiddlesticks is now spotted, but this will be the setup for Soul Point for Misfits. Gonna be interesting if they get it, because Rogue probably will commit to this fight, but they have to play it kind of carefully. Here comes the Fiddlesticks ult. It is channeled, and the dragon goes over to Razork or to Misfit side, but no damage dealt by Fiddlesticks, or not that much. Here it just claps Fiddlesticks outright, picks up Larson, Razork dies to Draven, and the Nocturne also picked off by Syndra. Hans dies to Herit, and Herit is just a monster on the Rift right now. This Gwen is not to be trifled with. This is Baron, probably, for Misfits, if they decide to. Yeah, they're pinging it already. They're trying to look for it. Herit jumping over it. If he can solo it, I'm not really sure, but he takes some damage here. But he also has his spell vamp from the what's it called? I'm forgetting words, but whatever. It's gonna be Baron for Misfits, and here is the Baron taken. And the game in gold perspective is still even, but this is no longer even because it is Soul Point for Misfits, even though they don't really have that much use for the Infernal Soul, except for Syndra at most, I believe, because Gwen, Xin Zhao, Alistar don't really benefit from it, except, well, Kobe a little bit with his W. It's just everyone dies here. This is just disaster for Rogue. And you see the damage here, what Gwen did. Gwen was on about 4.8k damage. The damage of Hans Sama is also quite insane, but the follow-up was just not there from his team. So there was not really much to be done here. They just got outplayed, you can quite literally say. And this is where Gwen just shines. In this kind of scenario, she just presses W, she jumps into your face, snippety snip snip, and you are just dead. And the Fiddlesticks does not really serve any use anymore, except for fear or something. But the jump into the Dragon Pit, he didn't really get anyone with his ultimate, as far as I could see. So this will be the siege of bot lane now. The second tier tower will fall. And Misfits try to look for a good push here, or maybe a good fight. They have the Baron advantage, obviously, but Fiddlesticks on the flank coming in with the ultimate. And here is Death. It's just plain out disaster. Perfect Fiddlesticks ult followed up by a perfect Nocturne ult, and Inspired chasing down the big angry bull. He probably will not catch him because he just knocks him back eternally. But here will be an attempt for possibly an end, because there's 40-second death timers, and this might be quote-unquote a throw. Here we see a quick recap. The Fiddlesticks ulti perfectly timed with the Nocturne ulti. Perfect communication between Inspired and Odo Omne, followed up by the W of the Fiddlesticks. But the damage this Fiddlesticks did in this fight is quite insane. Gwen, absolutely no damage whatsoever. Everybody just got blown up by the side of Misfits. And this is the victory for Rogue. With one perfect fight after the Baron, they managed one perfect fight. The Fiddlesticks coming in absolutely clutch. It's insane. Inspired is a very good player, and he has a ton of damage. And perfect team effort. Absolutely perfect communication between Inspired and Odo Omne there. Absolutely loved it. This is what you like to see from Rogue, finalists of the MSI finals, quote unquote, where they were facing off against the Lions. And they showed their expertise here. They absolutely smashed the Misfits in the last fight, even though they almost, I wouldn't say lost, but they played it very calm and collected, as Rogue does. And this is what you see from a very, very good, not really sure how to phrase this, but how their communication works just well. It was the perfect timing, perfect execution, and that just showed through their expertise. And this is the victory for Rogue. Rogue now being 3-1 on their record. And this is it for me. This was the third game. We're coming up with the fourth game later on, which will be Fnatic versus Vitality, I believe. And that's going to be for Game 3, as mentioned. My name is Vivo. I hope you enjoyed this cast, even though I blabber quite a lot and don't really catch everything. I still hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.